This video will go from this, to this, using this. Okay, so the end of last season had some problems with the lawnmower. Now the motor locked up. I was mowing, I killed it to, well, I was mowing and it started acting like it was bogging down, like there was a lot of grass in there, so I turned it off, shut it off, cleaned all the grass out because the grass was kind of wet, went to restart it, nothing. Then I went and replaced the battery because I thought maybe it was the battery. Nope, that didn't do it either. So then I got up here and tried to turn the motor by hand and still nothing. So the motor was locked up. So I went through it, did some stuff, got it on the out, got it running again, but that was extremely temporary. I was pulling my trailer out to the front yard when it started, well, sounding really bad. So I quickly tried to drag the trailer back to the backyard and heard some horrendous noises, and now nothing. So got the option of replacing the mower or the motor. So after some deep thoughts, I went ahead and ordered a replacement motor, which should be an exact replacement. So anyway, gonna remove the motor, swap it with a brand new one, and step you through that process. So one of the first things that will need to be done is, of course, remove the battery. No, always remove the ground cable first. That way, if you accidentally hit the frame, you get no sparks. And conversely, attach the ground cable last. No go handle, great. It's actually in good shape, but I'll leave it on there for a little bit. First thing I'm gonna want to do is drain that oil out. And to do that, and that's the only tool you'll need. So, pop this off. Put a little hose on there, 1/2 inch by the way. And you just kind of push in, turn it. Ooh, that's interesting. There it goes. Now it's starting to come out. It's cold out, so it's kind of slow. All right, next thing is disconnect all the connectors, fuel line, and then this piece has got to come off, and then of course bolts for the engine itself. So while that's draining extremely slow, pop that off. Side. One on each side there. Grab that, pull it off. That probably doesn't have to come off. That's not connected. That's definitely connected. And again, I've already disconnected the battery, so we don't have any shocking results from any of this. Seven 16ths. What else do we have here? Muffler. I'll have to check the new engine to see if it comes with one or not. We'll do there. That one had bolts. Let's go ahead and grab this. See the oil slowly draining out, and that is not a 7/16. So is it 3/8 or metric? 3/8. Go ahead and get that up out of the way. I have a ratchet on it somewhere. And as always, there'll be links to everything, pretty much everything, down there in the description, including the motor itself. And on to the other side. Oh, don't want a washer. Okay, next will be the fuel line, and I'll either stick a bolt in it or pinch it off or whatever. Let's go ahead and take this off just to get it out of the way. Oh, return. Yeah, okay. So that one goes right up here. Alright, next is this throttle cable. And that is a T20. Let's try that. And that is a T20. Will I need that later? I don't know. Cable's off. Alright, let's see if we can get this fuel line off. So I'll get these ready so I can clamp it. Don't want any bleeding going on. Actually, you know what? Let's just clamp her off right here, right? There we go. Alright, so I'm unsure if the muffler will work on the new engine. It is packaged a little differently. Actually, a lot differently. So I probably need to go ahead and take the exhaust off of it. I think it would be easier to take it off with the engine and the lawnmower than out of it. So let's switch sides yet again, and let's go ahead and take off the muffler. Alright, so next I'm going to take off the exhaust. It's slightly different on the new motor versus this one. So I may have to reuse the old exhaust pipe muffler assembly. There we go. Let me need you out. Dang, that was a whole lot easier than doing headers on a 78 Trans Am with a Pontiac 400. Way easier. Alright, so oil has stopped draining, so click it back. Oh, or not. Plug it back. There we go. Gonna put that cap back on there. Get this oil away from here. And of course, dispose of that properly at your local auto parts store or whatever. I'm gonna set it this side for right now. All right, next up, let's see if I can get in there so you guys can see the bolts to pull the engine. Well, the easy way to show you is right here, right? There's a bolt, wrong side. There's a bolt, and on the other side, there's a bolt, and I should have brought the light over here, and there's a bolt right back in here. Those are accessed from underneath, and then there's the belt's got to come off. Make sure you have your wheels chocked and the brake on. I actually have mine in neutral with the drive disengaged right now. And this one is held in with 9/16 bolts. One. Yay. This one, hopefully I can get up in there with the ratchet easily. Unplug this. Let's get this thing out of the way. I probably should wear the gloves, right? Another one. All right, so before I go any further, I'm going to break this loose right here, get the pulleys off, the belts off, then I'll finish pulling the bolts for the engine. Probably a good idea to have that still mounted while that's on there. I kind of got ahead of myself by taking those other two bolts off. So, before you do anything like that, even though this thing's locked up, I'm going to go ahead and pull the spark plug wire from it, right? Just on the offhand chance I spin it and it wants to start. In this case, yeah, that ain't happening, but somebody out there will mention that. Oh, yeah. I'm sure an impact or something might be needed for that. Nope. Didn't even feel like I had a Loctite on it. I wonder if I can get up in there now. This. There we go. Number three. Number three. All right, now the last one. There we go, number four. I don't know if there's a puller to pull that pulley off, or if I can just simply kind of bounce it out with this. Let's see. Ah, there we go, right on out. Answer that question. Cool. So there's the pulley system. Got a little keyway in there that appears to be built into it, so that's good news. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and oh, by the way, I did drop some wood down there in case, you know, that springy loaded thing falls out. Might make it a little easier to find it, but didn't, because it's right there. So next, clean this off a little bit, and then dropping the new motor in. Woo, woo. There we go. She's show ready now. So I'm curious, there's any way to put this in there first? She looks good. I'm gonna go take me a little break. Yep. Yeah, just so I can kind of move stuff around as needed. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove this muffler and go with the OEM muffler for the lawnmower. Well, that's interesting looking. Throw that in the not used pile. Yay, gravity. All right. Next is gonna be kind of fun. These are self-tapping. That ain't tapped. So, a couple options here. I could lay it on the side possibly and go ahead and get these going. Nope. So I saw a lot of complaints about the self-threading part of this, so I thought I'd go ahead and get started. Hopefully make it a little easier. I want to go ahead and put it all back together. So I got all four started. Set aside. And next will be the pulley again. Yikes! Shoot, I thought I got that on. I mean, I got it on video, but anyway, I kind of just press this pulley up here and then set the motor down on top of it. Motor still is not bolted in, by the way.
So I ended up spending a lot of time checking the drive belt, the main drive belt that goes from the top pulley, the one closest to the engine, to the transmission. It seemed extremely loose. But I couldn't see anything that looked wrong with it. So I ended up just going ahead and bolting the motor down and starting it up. In the end, it worked fine. So apparently, I guess when I had the disengaged or whatever, that loosened the tension on the belt. So anyway, if you notice that the belt tension looks really loose, don't hassle it. Go ahead and put the engine in and fire it up and see what happens. You can always go back and deal with the belt later. So during the process of putting the pulley in there, I kind of suspended it and then dropped the engine down into the hole and into the pulley. That seemed to help make it easier to line up the belts and everything. I used the belts and the little belt guards to kind of hold that pulley in there. So anyway, during that process, I ended up putting the front of the mower on some blocks to raise it up a little bit, give me a little more extra room to work under it. And after doing that, I was able to use the 3/8 drive ratchet with a couple of extensions to get to 3 of the bolts. And the 4th bolt, the one on on a car would be the passenger side, on the right side of the engine, on the back, I ended up having to use a wobble socket to access that one. And that one took a little bit of time, but the other ones were pretty easy with it elevated up in the air, which would have made pulling the motor out a lot easier as well. So anyway, I was able to access all 3 of them easily with the ratchet, with the mower lifted up off the ground a little bit. It's only about 4 inches. And then that one I had to use a swivel with.
That one's down to 2 grunts. There we go. Click. There's some right here. What do you think? Will it plug in? Yep, it's only going one way. Plug that in. Wires match up. Don't know what that means, but they match up. Keep in mind the battery is still disconnected. Put the little starter wire on. There we go. Alright, next, reassemble that dang exhaust, right? So that piece goes down in there. That goes in there. Gasket. Okay. Exhaust is done, electrical's done. There's the old throttle cable. what did that connect into? Do you remember? Right here. That's what I would think, right? What's that? Ah, there we go. Take that out. Boom, boom, boom. Just kidding. Alright, so that actually came with new holder and screw, so put it on there, right? Goodness. Well, this is not threaded either, so make things a little bit easier. That thing is freaking huge. Do that and get her started. Ow. All right. Throttle's connected. All right, next question is, do I just bypass all this or do I actually use it? Paid for it, I guess I'll use it. So, alright, so the old exhaust bolt fit right in there to plug that line. So, I think what I'm going to do, disconnect that fuel line right here, plug it in right there. Hope to do it quick enough not to spill a bunch. Anyway. Alright. There we go. Get on there. Oh, I think I got fuel flow. What do you think? There we go. Yeah, again, literally the worst pliers to use for that. Alright, got that. Need oil and battery. Without the go handle. Yep. Yep, it's full right now. So next up, I'll connect the battery. I didn't put a full cord in, by the way. Not yet. Yeah, okay. Make sure you got your minuses and pluses connected correctly, because it kind of sucks when you don't. Alright, so as I said before, I like doing positive first one going back on, last one coming off. That was a battery cover. It's been there for a little while. Alright, before I put the covers back on it, always a good idea to test it. So, just because I'm going to pull nothing off, never mind. There we go. Pull the spark plug wire off. Get a little twisters. Get that oil chance to kind of do this oil thing. Connect the plug up. I'll do a quick double check on that oil. A little bit more. Perfect. Not quite a full quart. All right. Let's see what happens, huh? I'll be jiggered. It works. There you go. That's how to replace the motor.
Be sure to watch my next video on how to put an oil pressure gauge on a riding lawnmower, or any other Briggs and Stratton motor for that matter. Need to keep an eye on those vitals so we don't lose another motor. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please select like down there and subscribe to my channel. If you didn't like it, well, subscribe to the channel, maybe you like the next one. Thank you for watching.
What did that bolt go to? I don't know. It's gone now though. Oh.